Hey guys, how is it going? Harry, Matthew, how's things? How's lockdown? Oh, bear with me a tick, I'll just put the light on. Oh, that's a bit better. This is going to be a tough one to get through, indeed. I will put the links in the description if you haven't seen it. Link is here. Chicken wings. I'm going to skip to 21 minutes because this entire thing is like almost 3 hours. So I'm going to skip to 21 minutes to start from there. That's just before national anthems. 21 minutes. All right. Get that jersey off. I get the feeling this is going to be the jersey for the day. I was thinking about the All Blacks one, but I get the feeling this is the right one to wear. Hey, Heinrich. Nice jersey. Indeed, I picked the right one, huh? What's with the jersey? Like I said, man, I'm feeling like this is the lucky jersey for this particular stream. Getting on the TV. Yeah, I've already set it up on the TV, so it's the Rugby World Cup game. Links in the description. 21 minutes. Otherwise, it's 2 hours and 41 minutes, 51 seconds, so too long. I mean, the start's the bit where they fly the jet over the stadium. Nelson Mandela shakes all the players' hands. They do the World and Union song. I figure we can skip to 21 minutes. Haven't started yet, but skip to 21. We'll start from there. You're the first one here. Yeah, I saw you when I was setting up. I could see you'd already sent some messages in the chat, man. Good man. Isaac, I am good, man. I am well. Gareth, hey, G-man. This is the jersey for this game, man. This is the jersey. I'm pretty good. I went to the supermarket today. It was pandemonium. There were people everywhere. I was fortunate enough that I was just able to do a pickup, so I didn't actually have to stay there for long. I won my first game of Monopoly today. Now your sister hates you. Monopoly does get pretty brutal in terms of the rivalry. Monopoly is not a game for making friends. It's a brutal one. What beer? I'm still on the Heineken. I'm almost finished the Heineken. So I've got a couple of Heinekens. Sam, you'll be pleased to know they're in a cool bag, and the bag has been in the freezer as well. So the bag itself is cold. So don't worry. Turning into a South African fan. Come on, man. It's the 95 final. Nelson Mandela. Come on. It's a big event. How's quarantine treating everybody? Yeah. Certainly more time in the front yard and whatnot for me. Bit of rugby 20, which has been a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, anyway. Gareth is here to gloat. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what this is like. Like for New Zealand fans, the 95 final is kind of one I think we'd rather forget. Probably still a few people a bit bitter about it. I'm not sure what the feelings are like in South Africa. I would imagine it's probably an immensely proud one. Heinrich is feeling a 3-point win for South Africa. Oh, we'll see how that goes. Maybe it's going to be a 20-point win for New Zealand. You never know. When you play Monopoly with your family, they have family no more. Indeed. Yeah, I wouldn't think of playing that with my family. The last time I played it would have been like 5 years ago with some co-workers after drinks. So yeah. Will I do a review? Yes, I have the notepad ready for this one. So I will do a review of this game. Matt Damon looking in the number 6 jersey. I forget. He's a fair bit smaller, isn't he? Matt Damon. When you think of your fans, who comes to mind? Harry Henderson. Harry, you're pretty loyal. I do appreciate that. Greatest moment of sport and ignited the magnificent rivalry between two phenomenal nations. Yeah, fair call. Very fair call. Where's the whiteboard? This one I think's got a match one, so we'll stick with that one. The Lay's Chips guy, South Africa's captain. Nice. Right, I'm gonna get cracking. The link is in the description for the actual game that I'm going to be watching. It's on YouTube. I'm skipping to 21 minutes. So where I'm starting from, it's a high shot of the stadium. It's about to be just before the national anthems start. So it's they did a bunch of pre-match stuff. So I'm going to skip all that. 21 minutes is where we are going to kick off from, gentlemen and ladies. Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And there's Nelson Mandela getting ready for the anthems, and they're chanting his name, Nelson. We can get through this. I have not seen this game since 1995. That time I watched it in my parents' bed because they woke me up and they were able to get the TV or the game on the TV in their bed. And there's a police helicopter flying over my house right now. Matt Damon had a ton of padding on to do Pienaar justice. I am not surprised. Man, look at that crowd. It's amazing. Hi from South Africa. Prime Minister of New Zealand at the time. Was it Jim Bolger? Don't know. Rage quitting Monopoly. Yeah, that's where you flip the board up on its head. Flashbacks. South African national anthem in 4 languages. Yeah, that is a pretty cool aspect to it. New Zealand does it 2 languages. I'm not sure if they did 2 languages in 95. That'll be interesting. I think the last one I watched in 87, they just did it in English. Coronas are done into the Heinekens. Oh, where's my bottle opener? I mean, I can open it with anything, but it's easier if I've got a bottle opener. How prepared am I? Okay, I'll find something. I can just use the pen if I need to, as long as I don't break it. Super Rugby Dream Team of the season. I could do that. Yeah, I might have to at some point. Not old enough to drink alcohol. Don't drink alcohol then. Not until you're of legal age. Started in 1999. Okay, so 1995 is just going to be English. I kind of wish a current one they would just do half-half. Do half English, half Māori, because I like that they're doing both, but it's too long. It's too long doing both full through. South Africa's anthem is in Xhosa, Zulu, Afrikaans, and English. Yeah, that's cool. If you guys are just joining us, we are at the stream in the description, just hitting 24 minutes in. We've skipped some of the start to get to the national anthems. I was 2.5 when this game took place. I was a little bit older than that. There's Jonah. What month was this game? Does anyone know? My mum started drinking when she was 14. A lot of people have drinks at a young age. I let my son try a beer when he was like 3 because he always wanted to know what it tasted like. So I gave him a very slight taste, and he didn't ask for it anymore. And Jeff Wilson still had a full head of hair. Here we go. Not too far away now. Ooh, I am going to break that pen if I use that one to open it. Whiteboard marker. Geez, that wiper mic is not very strong. There we go. Got there in the end. Here's the haka. This has changed a lot as well. Is that Zinzan leading it? I got to admit, it looks better than it did for the 87 one. It looks more focused. Like if you've looked at the haka from a long time ago, it was not as intimidating. In June. So how old would I have been in 1995? 11. So I haven't seen this game since I was 11. Man, look at that South African team. Durant, Visa, Van der Verstegen, Stransky, Williams, Small, Mulder, like, damn. A lot of big names. Question for you and G-Man, because we're listening to a rumor here in Wales that the Kiwis were hit by food poisoning. Oh, man. Osborne, Wilson, Lombu, Bunce, Mertens, Bishop, Little, Brook, Cronfeld, Brewer. Yeah, the All Blacks claimed that they were. Oh man, Jamie Joseph was on the bench. Nakadrotsky, Rudolph Strowley, and Strawn. Interesting. Yeah, that food poisoning debate still goes on, man. Cheers, everybody. You admitted that you gave beer to a minor. Are they not allowed to drink it, or are they just not allowed to buy it? I'm not sure what the deal is. Yeah, they claimed that they were food. Their food was poisoned by, what's the girl's name? Oh, it was a big thing here in New Zealand. They said half the team was kind of sick the night before the game. So Susie, there it is. Yeah, they claimed it was Susie. Hey, April. Don't drink too much. I warn every video. I never drink too much. Don't worry about that. I'm not a huge drinker. Yeah, South Africa didn't play in the first two World Cups. This is true. This is their first one, and they went on to have a 100% record. 1995 World Cup and food poisoning questions seem to go hand in hand. Indeed, they do. That one seems to be never ending. I know some sides, I'm not sure if they do it to rugby teams, but I know that like football fans do it. If they can find out the hotel of the away team, they'll go outside the hotel and like bang things all night to make sure it's really loud and they can't get a good night's sleep. No hate to Kerwin Bosch, but why do you pick Kerwin Bosch all the time? I think he's really good, man. I think he's really good. I'm an Aussie fan myself. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Aussie, oi. Aussie, oi. Sad to see some of the guys who've passed away since this game. Heineken was already the sponsor, I see. Ian Jones in the line out. Not a good start for the All Blacks. April's allowed to go out of the house today. What's up with that? I also went out of the house today. I forgot Josh Cromfeld played in this game. He must have been relatively young. I know for sure that here in New Zealand you can drink at any age, but you need a lot of permission. Okay. But to buy someone, there's a certain age. Okay. I promise I wasn't getting my child drunk on beer. Good bit of D from the box early. South Africa have 100% finals record, never lost a final. Indeed. Some teams don't have as much luck. Is that the shirt from the 2019 World Cup? No, this is the one from, I think, the season before, maybe the 2018 season. Willem sent it to me. He was the first guy to send me a jersey. This is the first jersey any subscriber ever sent me. And I've been sent way too many. But this was the one that started it off. Mertens just did an up and under, and it didn't do nothing. G-Man saw me here. He knows I'm stream cheating on him. You can do both. We would like that, I'm sure. I bet you fed him a whole box of beer. Come on, man. He's my son. I gave him a tiny taste of beer, and he was like, that's not sweet. My dad did the same to me. I was probably a bit older than like 3, but still. He's curious, man. Kids are always curious about that kind of stuff. My 14 days of self-isolation has stopped. I haven't had any symptoms for 5 days. Boris is still sick. Yeah, Boris was confirmed, wasn't he? Prince Charles, Boris. There's been a fair few people. Got a Tom Hanks. Yeah, Chester, Lomu. Are there other guys? I think there's others as well, right? About 100 kegs under today's pack weight. I didn't notice that. Wow. That's a phenomenal difference, isn't it? France has a 0% win rate in finals. Yeah, theirs is not the best. I think England have lost 2. Australia have lost 2. Let's not forget, only 2 years after this final, British and Irish Lions came to town, had an amazing tour. Best one I can remember, possibly only matched by the last one in New Zealand. Maybe that's something else for me to go back and try and find something to watch, eh? Right, first blood to the All Blacks. This is a good sign, people. Good sign. 6 minutes in, All Blacks draw first blood. I'll send you the 2018 Blues jersey if you want a size 13, 14 jersey. Nah, you keep it, man. I've got, I think, 5 Blues jerseys. So I'm not too bad for Blues ones. Cup of tea. I already had my cup of tea, thanks. I had that a couple of hours ago. Finals win rate: South Africa 100, New Zealand 75, Australia 50, England 25, France 0. Who will be the next team to make a final, do you reckon, that hasn't made the finals at all yet? What minute I'm up to on the YouTube clip? I'm at 35 minutes and 15 seconds. They haven't got the game clock up at the moment, so I'm not sure how many minutes are gone. Maybe I should have got the whiteboard ready. Why did South Africa not attend 87-91? Political reasons is probably the most neutral way I can put that. This is a bad sign for the end of the game. Watching this with my father-in-law who watched it live. Yeah, I also watched it live, but at 11 years old, I probably understood little and remember even less. I remember the attempted... Right, Mertens has missed the drop goal on about 9 minutes, and that's an ominous sign. Because, yeah, that's one of the things I remember is both sides taking drop goal attempts towards the end and New Zealand not getting them. But still, all the territory is New Zealand at the moment. They've been just camped in the box half, haven't they? He's already pissed off. Richard Lowe. Oh, man, that guy was dirty. He was dirty. You think Wales will make it? Yeah, Wales could potentially. Like Wales and Ireland are probably the biggest two teams to have not made it. Man, Joel Stransky. Guy looks young there, but I guess 95, I probably look a lot younger too. Would like to see Wales make a final. Indeed. Kind of want one of the Pacific countries to make it. Yeah, that'll be tough. I think there was a lot of hopes on Fiji at the one just gone, but it ended up not happening. Tough pool they were in, though. Hello, Chris. Chris, if you're just joining us, if you want to go to the YouTube stream yourself of the actual game, it's at 38 minutes. It's 3-0 to the All Blacks after about 10, 12 minutes. They don't have a game clock up, which I didn't realize. Ooh, South Africa just won a penalty. Mandela was on the CIA terrorist watch list until 2008. Is that right? That's kind of crazy. Am I going to call the group chat anything? I hadn't thought about it. Is that a thing in other streams? Catch the Box Coast. Korea, Houston, Van der Vestes and Jonah. James Small, Chester passed away. That's quite a lot, isn't it? I remember Jonah and Just Van der Vestes, and they spent some time together before they both passed away, right? Because Juice was pretty sick. Still got the collectible Coke cans with all the teams on them. Nice. Pacific teams won't make it until the respective unions sort their financial issues out. It's hard for them as well. They hardly get to host any games because there's not much money in hosting them. Stransky has just evened things up. What's a kick? Pressure kick. How many minutes? 12 minutes. That's one of the few times they've been in the All Blacks half, so they did well to make some points out of it. Chris is thereabouts. Awesome. Wow. Big kick. 100% win record of South Africa, coach. That's fantastic. Call a chat 3 cents. I remember this game in 95, was 10 years old, utter madness in your house. I can imagine. I can't remember what time of day this game was played. Whoa. Lomu with a big run. Oh, but he's offloaded to one of the box players. Yeah, I remember my parents getting me up to jump into their bed as an 11-year-old to watch the game. And yeah, I remember that was really like a treat for me to be out of bed, like past my bedtime. That's all. That's about as much as I remember. And the drop goal attempts at the end and being disappointed. You know how people get All Blacks collector's cards? You make your own. Make your own. Mertens is 26 out of 41 at the World Cup. That's not a very good kicking ratio. 26 out of 41. I need a percentage calculator to work that out. I need a calculator. I can't do that in my head. But he's got that one. Pretty straightforward. 14 minutes? 13. Really? It was only a minute between them. 14. It was 14. Commentator tells lies. All Blacks back in front, people. Maybe this time it'll play out differently. The shortest time for a team losing in a World Cup final to compete in the next one is 12 years? No way. That's a heck of a stat. Cynical. Yeah, there seems to be a bit more cynical stuff in these old games, to be honest. It doesn't go very punished. Ten at night. Yeah, it's 9:25 here now. But I have no idea what time of day this game was played in 1995. I don't know if my parents got me up at 10 o'clock, if they got me up at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I got no idea. I remember them getting me up, though. Current countries bidding for 2027, Russia, Argentina, Australia. Which do you think will be the best host? It'd be nice to see it go to Argentina. That would be, I think, a nice change. Australia could probably use the money, but I think Argentina. Rainy Pretoria. It's been dry here, man. We need some of that rain over this way. Our reservoirs are running low. They're already telling people don't wash your car, don't water the garden. Oh, what's a kick from Stransky? Oh, but it's gone too far. Yellow number 1. I used to collect All Blacks cards in those Weet-Bix boxes. True. I never ate Weet-Bix much, so I never really got them. Wow. That's another good kick. Some of the kicking for territory from both sides has been pretty good. Watched it on our farm in Namibia. All the neighbors came over. Man, that's awesome. Took me a long time to get over this game. Fortunately, I was 11, so I probably didn't take that long to get over it, I'll be honest. I still remember the disappointment. Sticking with your prediction of a 3-point win, but man, the All Blacks are in front. If you have a YouTube, merch that has a shirt that says Jersey Collector. Yeah. I'd have to have a think about that. Normal scrum, I know. Oh, man, the All Blacks line-out is poor. That was like a proper attacking chance only a few meters out. Poor. $1:25 a.m. in the morning, Mark. Shouldn't you be asleep, man? How is life in Seattle? They should do in Argentina. They deserve to host the World Cup. I agree. I think that would be good for the game. Got the Wallabies collector's cards from Weet-Bix years ago. Yeah, that seems to be a thing, doesn't it? 5 meters out, indeed. They should have taken better opportunity there. That's the kind of stuff you don't remember. All Blacks had an attacking line out a few meters out and totally stuffed their lines. Collected tokens from Simba chips back in the day. Whoa. What happened to Jeff Wilson? Here we go. Attacking lineup for the South Africans, and they got it. Some brutal play at the breakdown. Lockdown, Mark. Yeah, lockdown here as well, although we're still kind of free to walk around. All the games have been in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, there's just more people in the Northern Hemisphere, so it makes sense that more of the Rugby World Cup finals have been there. Stransky went to England to play shortly after this. English media wanted him to play for England. Would that have been a thing? Could you switch countries back then? When Simba chips had more chips than... We don't have Simba chips over here. Hakuna Matata, that's what my thoughts were when I heard Simba. Oh, man, that's close. Oh, held up. I love the refs back in these days. This has happened in the 87 World Cup and the 91 World Cup. They gesture with some flair. Like those guys, they want to be seen on TV. Like the refs nowadays pretend they don't, but they probably still do. That was close. And that huge scrum, the South African pack definitely has dominance so far. Scrum penalty. Bring Richard Lowe on. Yellow number 2. What was yellow number 2 for? The Jeff Wilson one or for the scrum one? This is a tough game. No kidding. Those guys were tough. Not even allowed to buy alcohol or cigarettes. Why didn't they play this at night? I don't actually know. Probably better time zone for Europe. Maybe they didn't have the lights back in those days. No idea. After this, the streets, I remember, I had to go to the airport because the streets were lined up people of all colors kissing and hugging in 2019 with the World Cup. It was, again, nice. That's cool. That's a cool story. Stransky. Still looks like him, just younger. Probably because of the lighting issues. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. How many minutes? 21. 6 apiece. Yeah, bang on with the refs. Yeah, man. The passion on their calls is exactly right. Great scrum is right. Nowadays, they'll go upstairs to check, yeah. Again, it's one of the things where the game moved a bit faster in the old days because no TMO checks. Corbus Visa's huge. Yeah, he still looks huge. And yeah, the tip tackle, I know what you mean. Different game back in those days. Saw Bucky's Borta 2 weeks ago. Here's a mountain. You're 198 and you looked up to him. Wow. That's enormous. Who's the All Blacks number 10? He looks familiar. Andrew Mertens, man. Oh, there's Jamie Joseph warming up. I do not remember him at all in this game. Bucky's was huge. I met him, Skulkburger, a while ago. Gentle giant. Nothing gentle about Bucky's, that's for sure. This will be an interesting scrum because South Africa have dominated the first couple, and that one was pretty well done as well. How many tests did Glenn Osborne play for the All Blacks? I have a whole book of Wheat Bix All Blacks cards. I don't have the legend cards of Kevin Mealambu. Wow, Jamie Joseph is right, Chris. That was my reaction as well. Like most of the players for the All Blacks, at least. Well, the All Blacks have turned one over at line-out time. And Zinzam with the kick. Oh. Out on the full, Zinzam. What were you doing? What was I saying? Jamie Joseph, yes. Don't remember him at all in this game. I remember most of the guys, like the big name guys, especially, but most of the All Blacks guys. Some of the South African guys, I remember like knowing them as a child, but I don't remember Jamie Joseph at all. Sinzam Brook, talented. Jamie Joseph was a dirty player, was he really? Can't be Richard Lowe dirty though, right? Andrew Mertens is South African by birth, indeed. Every time the All Blacks had a game at Eden Park, they stay at the same hotel where I stay. Most of the players are tall. Yeah. I once saw Kevin Mealamu come into a bar that I was at Sky City, which is one of the Blues sponsors back in those days. Maybe he's still now. Maybe not. Oh, that's an awkward bounce. New Zealand are looking a bit shaky under that high ball. Attacking scrum for South Africa. Wow. Yeah, I saw Kevin Lemealamu at a bar. He had just finished a game and came into the bar. I was much taller than him because I'm like 6'4", 194 centimeters. But he was just broad. And you better believe there was a whole queue of people and he just skipped everybody and went straight in. He wasn't waiting for nobody. Oh, man, that South African scrum is just destroying the All Blacks. So disorganized at times by the Abbeys. Indeed. He jumped on an English player's ankle after play had stopped. Can't remember the guy's name. My mum remembers him well. Said he was filthy, really horrible. Jeez, that's no good. Speak of the devil, there he is. Some guys let that competitive nature just take them to do crazy stuff. Commentators talking about penalty try. Maybe in these days, I mean, maybe in a World Cup final, you still take the 3, but if it's not a World Cup final, you still set the scrum and see if you can get somebody yellow carded. He's missed it. Squidge Rugby was born the same day as the semi-final England versus New Zealand. How on earth do you know that? Love the crowd. So much passion on their faces. Yeah, man. I mean, they've been playing so many classic games on Sky over here. They played a classic game between the Crusaders and the Blues from down in Christchurch in 2004. You should have seen the crowd. It was so full. And people were just so into the game. It's such a contrast to nowadays. And it's drawn. Should have been a penalty try. I think, yeah, nowadays there would definitely be at least talk of it with the ref to the players that if they keep conceding, then there will be somebody can potentially yellow carded. Pollard or Kerwin, who would you pick? Pollard is definitely a more complete player than Kerwin Bosch. That is for sure. Not sure where that injury occurred. Who do you think is the dirtiest player in Super Rugby at the moment? Dirtiest player in Super Rugby? There's a few guys. Oh, Lomu with the break down the wing. Gronfeld. Come on now, All Blacks. You can get some points here, surely. And they've knocked it on. Bosch's defense, you'd pick him. Indeed, that's the one big aspect of his game that is lacking. Pollard's got a more aggressive running game, but he's just a bigger guy, I think. Dirtiest player at the moment, probably Owen Farrell. He doesn't play in Super Rugby, though. Don't know if he's that dirty or just clumsy. Don't know. Stransky, James, or Pollard at 10. I mean, Pollard's kind of my generation, so I go with Pollard. At least I've seen him play more than the other guys that I can remember. The baggy jerseys look quite cool. I bet you they kept in pretty good condition as well. Super Rugby dirtiest played by the Bulls 6, Steenkamp. Maybe. One of the Chiefs' locks is pretty dirty. Is it Allardyce? Oh, and Jesse Parati is a bit dirty as well. All Blacks v Australia, Bledisloe 2010 showing on Rugby right now. Oh, I think I'll have to watch that one at some point. That's the Hong Kong game, is it? No. Is that the Hong Kong game? There's a bunch of classic games that a lot of the unions are showing. My YouTube feed, because I subscribe to the England Rugby YouTube channel, is pushing me to watch 2012 England All Blacks where the All Blacks get beaten. That's just every day. It's in my feed. Top suggested video every single day. Manu Tuilangi sitting there with his tongue sticking out, like in anticipation for playing the All Blacks. Oh, man. So far, I think the All Blacks' backs have looked more dangerous, but man, those South African forwards have been just dominant. Did he just click a drop goal? I turned away for 2 seconds to check the comments. I need a replay. That's ominous. Nobody's putting any pressure on him. Straight down the middle. What a kick. What a kick. Makes up for that missed penalty. Can you watch some old Bledisloe games? I think so. Some old Bledisloe. I'll see if I can find some old British and Irish Lions games. I think that'd be a good watch. 2014 one that's brilliant. Okay. You get that suggestion as well. Same. Yeah, that's being pushed pretty hard. You got to say that All Blacks back three is pretty disorganized as well, eh? Oh, but they've managed to turn it over. Lucky. You also got that one. They should release vintage style rugby jerseys that'll be popular. I had one, I think probably from about 95 was my first jersey as a kid. It was an All Blacks one with a collar, and it kept in pretty good nick. South African forwards always been good. They're destroying New Zealand right now. No kidding, man. You are totally correct. Wallabies store sells recreations of 91 and 99 World Cup jersey. That's awesome. Did not know that. Fitzy is looking pretty knackered. They need to get this line-out ball. Oh, man. This is painful. Play lock. One thing I noticed, your team relies on you to win the ball. True enough. Lineouts 1-8 apiece. How many lineouts won off opposition ball? This is a good game. Yeah, man. It has been pretty intense. All Blacks lineout was really struggling, though. So is their scrum. Lomu. Oh, he's knocked it on, surely. The referee says backwards. Still, they've turned it over. Never got into the British and Irish Lions tours and matches. My mum's cousin was a Lions and English player, Peter Jackson. Cool name. Should be more supportive. You should. I only really got into it after 2015, to be honest. Because when would have been the one before 2015 that toured New Zealand? Again, I would have been a kid and not understood what was going on. Cool to have some retro jerseys, indeed, man. They do that sometimes with cricket, so I don't know why they don't do it with rugby. Some online stores that make unbranded. Okay. I suppose you could get one made. Might cost a few bob, though. Another chance for the All Black season touch. All Black set pieces are struggling. Absolutely. And how many times do you see teams struggle at set piece and go on to win a game easily? Pretty seldom. When do South Africa play the Lions next year? Same time as the newly scheduled Olympics, I believe, which could be interesting. Why do they have an extra team? What am I missing? How do you mean, sorry? Subscribed since 800. That's a while ago, Harry. Llamas just tried to run over. I'm being turned over. Virtuous jerseys absorb water. Loose fit makes it easier for players to tackle you. Yeah, they introduced those tight-fitting jerseys for that very reason, to stop guys being tackled. But you noticed for the first few years of the tight jerseys, because props usually bind on each other's jerseys, when they had the really tight-fitting ones, scrums just kept going down because they couldn't get a good grip. The Lions. I guess it's tradition. Ticket sales for the Lions, not sure when that's starting. British and Irish Lions tour South Africa just after they win a World Cup. It's true. It's becoming a tradition, isn't it? Boks are going to smash the Lions. It is hard because the nature of the game means that the Lions are getting less and less time to prep for their tour. That's why all modern test kits are basically skin tight. Indeed, I'm sure the props didn't ask for skin tight. The early days, when they first introduced the skin-tight jerseys, they all used to rip multiple times a game. You would see guys getting their jersey replaced because they didn't have the technology. They could make them skin-tight, but not made to suffer the nature of the game. Whereas nowadays, they're pretty good. They don't seem to rip. Seems strange not to then have some sort of mixed Southern Hemisphere equivalent. Yeah, I guess that's true. It is weird that it only goes the one way. And France and Argentina and whatnot must feel left out because it's a big money spinner. There's a Pacific Island team. There was the Pacific Islanders, I think is what they were called. They did 1 year. There was an Anzac 15 that played the Lions back in the 80s. Geez, I didn't know that. Just need French refs. I think the French refs did better than most people expected for the most part at the World Cup. Box All Blacks Wallabies mix would be interesting for a team v the Lions. I know. And that'd make it a more fair thing in terms of the teams having to come together and play without as much preparation, without the kind of combinations, which is where the Lions struggle. Favorite All Black who is still playing? Who's my favorite All Black who still plays? It usually was easier to pick back in the days because the Blues had more All Blacks. Half time, 9 points to 6. Remember your first video was 2018 Super Rugby team preview of the Lions, Blues, or Highlanders. Man, that's a while ago now. Why am I wearing a Springbok jersey? 1995 Rugby World Cup. Probably has something to do with it. Be nice to see a Pacific Island team put together, go and take on the Lions. True. Lineouts look so awkward. Yeah, it seems like they're still not lifting in 95. You sent me a message on Facebook with the 007 Heinekens. I will have to have a look. Cheers, anyway. Fairness in rugby. Don't be silly. I know. Sometimes I'm a bit naive. What can I say? What language would Francois Pienaar be speaking to his guys? English? Or Afrikaans? A one-off game in the 80s, Five Nations versus World 15. Is that right, man? Why did they stop doing that kind of thing? Afrikaans. Both? Springboks always speak Afrikaans. I know they do at line-out time whenever they're doing the line-out calls because nobody can understand them. I think maybe a Dutch team would understand if there was such a thing. I did see your channel, Harry. It was mostly gaming stuff, right? What if we get the Mandela effect and New Zealand end up winning this game? Imagine the irony. Imagine James Small and Chester Williams wouldn't have spoken Afrikaans. I don't know. Is it like, I don't know how it works in South Africa. If people don't speak that language as a first language, do they understand it? Like, there's a guy at my work who's an expat South African. He left South Africa when he was, I think, like 18 or 17. So he's been in New Zealand because he's now like 30 something. But I think he still understands Afrikaans, but he can't really speak it because his English was always his family's first language. I don't really know how it works. Back then, mostly Afrikaans. Mike Brewer's going off at halftime. Why don't the All Blacks do Māori line-out calls? Do the Black Ferns do Māori line-out calls? That's a phenomenal thing. That is so smart. Do I ever meet subscribers? I've met a few at games. I met a Japanese guy who was a Sunwolves fan at a Sunwolves Blues game. Met a couple of guys at like Eden Park. I met one guy at the supermarket. He wanted a selfie, which was fun. One guy at the street near my work. He wanted a selfie, which again was a bit weird, but fun. I ain't gonna say no. Make my day, that moment. And I met one guy at the toy shop. I was buying some Lego. Yeah. Pretty rare, but it happens every now and again. A lot of English South Africans can understand Afrikaans, but they feel self-conscious to speak it. I can kind of understand that because some people don't speak it well. Like in China, they're all supposed to speak Mandarin, but they usually speak whatever dialect is their hometown dialect first, and some people refuse to speak Mandarin because essentially they speak it badly. And they don't want people to kind of crack up when it's kind of a broken way of speaking. I don't speak Afrikaans as a first language, but still speak and understand it. Afrikaans and English, two main subjects at school. Unless you are in a Xhosa school, then it's Xhosa and English. Makes sense. The only thing I know about Xhosa is those commentators have some passion, that's for sure. Living in Christchurch now, but always a Bok. Are there many South Africans down in Christchurch? There's quite a few in Auckland. All right, here we go. All Blacks are on the attack. Mertens with the drop goal. Missed it. Ominous. Black Ferns do all the on-field calls in Māori. They're pretty much the most integrated terms in terms of cultural stuff. That is phenomenal. Because I can't imagine many teams would be able to understand them. You saw me at Eden Park. You did indeed. Why is a selfie weird? I don't know. Like, someone you've never met comes up and asks you for a selfie. It's not something I'm accustomed to anyway, so I guess it's slightly weird, but it's a pleasant kind of thing rather than being intrusive. I guess if it happened every day, you'd get annoyed with it, but... Hi, Moonlight. What's up? Going good? Black Ferns, most World Cups. Afrikaans is our second language if it isn't our first. I guess it depends on where you come from. One of your Namibian friends moved to Auckland. One of your South African sisters stays in Auckland. Yeah, there's quite a few South Africans here in Auckland, I know that. And there's even a few suburbs in Auckland where it's kind of like known to be quite South African. What was that, Jeff Wilson? At this rate, the All Blacks do not deserve to win this game, man. Cromwell, about a year and a half ago, South Island 4 hours from Dunedin, so sleepy place when you went to visit New Zealand. Yeah, a lot of places in New Zealand are pretty quiet. Give the Super Rugby title for 2020 to the Sharks. It's probably too early into the season to give anybody the title. Keep up the cool work on YouTube. Super, super cool. I appreciate that, man. It is definitely a bit of fun. And it gives me a real good excuse to go and watch these old games. Because to be honest, if you guys weren't here, I don't know that I would sit through like 2 hours of video to watch the All Blacks get beaten in 1995. But you guys being here kind of makes it like having a mate next to me to watch the game with, which makes it a bit more interesting. Well, that was a long-range droppy attempt, but didn't go over. Where's my beer? I'm wearing shorts tonight. Yes, I went and took the kids for a walk earlier, and it got pretty warm this afternoon, so I'm wearing shorts. Here's a beer. I'll open the second beer. It's still cold, Sam. Don't worry. I need my whiteboard marker. Cheers. Penalty. Just when I thought the All Blacks had finally got a line-out steal. Pretty poor from the All Blacks. Damn, that Susie or whatever her name is. Yeah. Either way, they ain't playing very well. Are there old Super Rugby games available online? There are some. There are some. Not all the ones I would like to. This helps with the lockdown. Indeed. Sharks on top of the log. There probably won't be any more Super Rugby games for 2020. I think they will just call the season null and void. They will just skip it. Was that Lomu? He just dropped that ball dead cold? Oh, man. Man, too many errors. You can't be giving the South African team a chance to scrum you because they are just too dominant. Whiteboard marker to open a beer bottle. You don't see that every day. Well, I tried it with the pen, but the pen just, that thing kind of popped out. So I don't want to break it. You need to be able to open a bottle of beer with essentially any object around, but don't use your teeth because that's horrible. That's horrible. When I see people do that, I really want to, like, my skin starts to crawl. Who's winning? The Springboks are winning 9 points to 6. AB seem frustrated. They give away too many penalties. Exactly what happens to England in 2019. Yeah, maybe it's a case of history kind of repeating itself. Talking about the beer. You're not allowed to buy beer. That's one thing we are still allowed to buy. We're still allowed to go to the supermarket. The liquor stores are closed here, but the supermarket still has beer and wine. Pity they don't just take the Super Rugby table and award the top position the trophy. Yeah, I think it's just too few games. It's like, what, 7? Is it 7 rounds? Not enough. You've opened a beer in many creative ways. Indeed. You don't always have a bottle opener on you when you need to open a beer, so you need to learn. It's one of your life's lessons as a young adult to learn how to open a beer with. Usually it's a good idea to start with cutlery if you're going to start with something and it's not a bottle opener, like a knife, but not a sharp one. Just a butter knife is a good one to learn with, the handle of a butter knife. That's a good one to learn with. It's pretty easy. Oh, what a fend. We're making the best of a bad situation. No love. Yeah, it's getting back to these classic games. Indeed, man. Did he call for a mark? No. Southern Hemisphere Lions team would be interesting. Yeah. Nobody opens a beer bottle like Beth Hickey. How did she do it? Was it like a spatula or something? And it was like one swift motion. I remember that. That's for sure. Have the coaches play Rugby 20. I've been playing Rugby 20. I played it today on Twitch, believe it or not. I've figured out how to stream on Twitch. That game's got some problems. Yeah, I've started making a list. The list is already pretty long. Favorite player from each team and why? Oh, that's tough, man. That's tough. I mean, Stransky has been really impressive in the way he's been playing, although he sometimes grinds my gears when he does commentary. I thought Josh Cromfeld's been all right as well, actually. Kiwi Buckaroo, if they combined all our teams, indeed. They'd have to call them something other than Lions. I don't think Super Rugby teams are in Rugby 20. You are correct. Talk about personal success, environment, surround ourselves with ABs, and the boxes are good because they play each other. Yeah, that'd be one of the big losses if the South Africans ever went to the Six Nations, is that they would lose that rivalry. Man, Mertens is going to have a crack from like 56 meters. A fish slice, that's right. And it was like that way up rather than that way, right? Just oh, nice. That's a classic from the movie Once for Warriors, if you don't know what we're talking about. Classic Kiwi movie. Pretty depressing movie, though. Pretty depressing. Mertens taking the long shot at altitude. So he got the legs. Oh, he's missed it. How many kicks has Mertens missed now? Is it 3? Could you do the Chiefs Brumbies final 2013? I think that one's on YouTube now. I have a look. I kind of want to go back and do that Chiefs final where they got a hiding from the Bulls. That game was a big time hiding. Go, Jonah. Go, Jonah, man. He's found it tough to break tackles in this game, eh? Like, he's found some space. And Jeff Wilson's been quiet. I think he's one of the guys who claimed he was, not well. How dare you watch this? I know. I haven't seen it since 1995, man. What are you going to do? Stransky sounds constipated as a commentator. I do think he's getting a bit better. But I used to find him a bit too one-eyed. But I think he's getting better. If you guys aren't watching the game itself, I've put a link to the game in the description. And we are up to 1 hour and 28 minutes onto the YouTube, like the slidey time bar at the bottom. That's the official name for it. They don't have a match clock, so I'm not sure how many minutes we're through. Would recommend watching the miracle match between Munster and Gloucester. Okay, I feel like I've heard of that one. Tackle them around the legs. Springboks shouldn't move to Six Nations. They're fine where they are, but they should do something, improve Super Rugby to try to get bigger crowds. I've heard it said before that the ultimate solution for the South Africans. Oh, Mertens with a droppy. He's finally got one. On 15 minutes in the second half, so 55 minutes. Man, this game is tight. Would be the South Africans stay in the stay in the Rugby Championship to play the All Blacks, Wallabies and Pumas, but then they send their club teams to play North. So you kind of get the best of both. Not saying it's what I want to happen, but I've just heard it said. Have you seen Dark Horse with Cliff Curtis, the chess movie? Nah, I haven't seen it. I'll have to have a look. Wilson's off, and he does look pretty crook. He looks like he wants to be sick. It just hurts to watch. I know, man. I know. Watch Brighton Miracle. I haven't seen Brighton Miracle, but one of the subscribers who's a loyal Bath fan told me it's a good movie, so I might have to watch it. It's got Timothy Morrison, who's also from that movie Once for Warriors that April was talking about. Yapi Mulder, I know, right? Classic, like Springbok player. More depressed watching this game than losing at Monopoly. It's not that bad. Come on, man. That particular Munster Gloucester match was amazing. All right, man. I'll write it down. See if I can find it. Do you have any idea? I guess if I just Google Miracle Match, it's going to say what year is it from. Don't tell me the result. How many tries has Jonas all against South Africa? He didn't score any, but I'd like to go back and watch some of his games to see if he set up many. If he had any good try assists. Box moving to Six Nations will be a big loss for New Zealanders and them. Indeed. Big financial loss for the Rugby Championship, and just in terms of the rivalry and the development for both teams, I think it'll be a pity. 35-5. Are you serious? Just put on TV Hurricanes versus Brumbies quarterfinal 2016. That's the one where they gave them a big hiding, right? How are you watching this without being a tiny bit triggered? The All Blacks are playing pretty bad. Oh, another drop goal. He's missed it. And the All Blacks these days get criticised for not taking drop goals. They're taking them every 5 minutes here. Thoughts on Rugby Championship changing next year? South Africa, New Zealand, just once a year. I don't mind it. I think it might be a change for the better. April hates Monopoly. It's a bit of an evil game. It takes a long time to play as well. I will not watch the Bulls give a Chief smash like becoming a Blue supporter impossible. It's a good win for the Bulls, that game, man. You've got a link to that game? Love the great work. Appreciate that, Ross. Wasn't even born when this game aired, but you're annoyed. Yeah, it's kind of painful to see just how dominant the Springboks have been at set piece. Like, I didn't remember that at all. There's Mark Ellis. Jonah, is he going to bust the tackle? He beats one? No. Call back. Droppy after droppy. I know, man. Like, nowadays, there'd be boos ringing out from any New Zealand fans in the crowd. How many times do you do drop goals in New Zealand? Almost never. Apparently, we used to do them a lot. You should have seen the 87 final, man. That's apparently now against the rules, but the All Blacks get a free kick. They tap, pass it to Grant Fox, drop goal straight away. So New Zealand used to be a drop goal team. I'm not sure when that changed. Maybe after this game when we realized we weren't that good at kicking them. Big tackle from Osborne. Certain point, Monopoly becomes pointless. Yeah, there's better games you can play Monopoly. It's like a slow death for the players that are losing. Just don't watch the Bulls versus Sharks Super Rugby final. Bro, I want to watch that game. I want to watch that. I don't think I watched that game live. I've seen highlights of it for sure. I don't think I've seen it. 99.9% of people rage quit Monopoly or just give up. Watch the Bulls v Sharks final. Okay, let's do that. We'll lock that one in as well. These streams are awesome. I am enjoying these streams, man. There's no rugby on, but we can still find a way to get through it. My daughter does that. Rage quit. Nice. I will cry my eyes out if you do the match between the Chiefs versus the Bulls. I'll see if I can find these games first, man. Like, if they're on YouTube, it's all well and good, but if they're not, it becomes a bit difficult. Controversial. New Zealand should have gone for one in the 2007 quarters. I'm pretty sure the 2007 game is on YouTube, and I plan to watch it. I haven't watched it since 2007. I remember that one pretty clearly. I think that's a painful one. What'd you miss? New Zealand going for drop goals, not scoring them. Chiefs and Bulls were on Sky Channel 51. I saw that game. That was one from Hamilton. Did you see the crowd? The crowd for that game was pretty good. Like, South African teams nowadays struggle to draw crowds. Like, fans don't want to go out to see South African teams or Australian teams. They only want to go see the derby matches. But back in those days, big crowd. Can the next stream be the 2015 final? No. We're only at 95. What's after 95? 99. I don't think I've seen the 99 final. After 99, I think I've seen them all. But I don't think I've seen 99. Masochistic. I know. But there's like these certain games that like live on in the New Zealand memory for the wrong reasons. This is one of them. Susie's food poisoning. 2007, the Ford passes Wayne Barnes. And 2003. Yeah. So I need to watch these games to have a more recent opinion about it, like an unemotional opinion. I physically cringe when I see footage of Johnny Wilkinson's drop goal from 2003. Who was it trying to charge him down? Was it Gregan? I was privileged to have been at the game in 95, sat behind the poles and Stransky's drop goal sailed through. Wow, that's awesome. That's like a moment of rugby history that you can't forget. That's fantastic. I'm unbelievably jealous. 2009 finals on YouTube. Good man. We're going to watch it for sure. Prices are expensive in South Africa. Yeah, Super Rugby tickets are overpriced here as well. It's like as the crowds have gone down, they've increased the ticket prices to make up for it, but then that has the consequence of more fans not wanting to attend. Loving the streams. Me too, man. Susie's real. I don't know, man. I can't judge. I mean, I think I trust Jeff Wilson when he says he was crook, but whether there was deliberate food poisoning, I feel like that kind of secret would have come out by now. You know what they say about conspiracy theories, how people basically can't keep secrets. If there was a conspiracy to poison the All Blacks, I feel like somebody would have talked by now, right? 2011 final was amazing. The 2011 final was stressful. The 2015 final, I think, was probably in terms of entertainment value very, very good because both sides had their moments. You're going to go to watch New Zealand versus Australia. That'll be a good game. Watching France not go for a drop goal against Wales in the World Cup last year still grinds your gear. 6 points up. I know. Painful. Harry, you're always too kind, man. Don't do that. I'll get a big head. Don't think there was any controversy about New Zealand's match during 2003. I think you're right. There's no controversy about it. I can't think of anything. But just the looks on the New Zealand players' faces. Yeah. I'm Irish and I'm very annoyed that we haven't won a World Cup, being the number one team and coming in. Yeah. That was a funny one because it seemed like after New Zealand got taught a bit of a lesson by Ireland preceding the World Cup, New Zealand went into that campaign with a strategy to beat Ireland. And they did, but then England had planned to beat New Zealand, and they did. And then South Africa was just like, bro, we're putting heaps of big forwards on the bench. And we've got Colby and we've got Stain on the bench who can cover half the back line, so deal with it. And then that is one. Yep. You reported this game for inappropriate behavior. Come on, man. When do you think New Zealand hosts the Rugby World Cup next? I don't know that it'll happen. It's not very financially wise to let New Zealand host it. That's why I made sure I came back from China to watch the 2011 one here, because I wasn't sure that we would get it again. Our stadiums are too small. We're too far away from everywhere. Yeah. A lot of ABs were sick, not just Jeff. He was told not to open his mouth. I think he's talked about how he was pretty crook, though, right? Like, I don't know. I don't doubt that the guys were sick. I do maybe have a bit of I'm unsure. I don't think that if there was an elaborate plan to poison them, I don't think that would still be a secret. What's your real name? It's Mark. Mark. 2011 final was horrible. I felt sick. Yeah, I remember when France had a penalty to potentially go in front. I couldn't watch it. I had to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, they'd missed it. Thankfully, I think it was Trent Duck missed it. I was pretty relieved. England would have beat the ABs in 2003. 2003 wasn't a very good campaign. Rassie is a master tactician. He is, man. He's very deliberate in everything he does. New Zealand had selection issues in 2019. Yeah, I think Hansen was so focused on beating the Irish that led them to do things with their selections that they might not have otherwise done. So, yeah. Super Rugby all-decade team, bro. I'll have to have a think about that. I'll have to have a think about it. But that's such a wide range of players, eh? From 2010 to 2020. Watched last year's final again the other day. Goosebumps all over. You know, I've only seen it the once. I've only seen the 2019 or 2019 final when I watched it. I haven't gone back and rewatched it. Maybe I should. Warm beers. The beer is still, I mean, I admit it's not as cold as it was, but it's chilled. Thoughts on USA filing for bankruptcy? It seems like they filed for bankruptcy, I guess, in a smart way. From what I read about it, it's to avoid other financial complications down the line. So to give them kind of a fresh start. I don't know. It's not a good look, though, is it? Took the wrong squad, and yeah, Artie is not an 8. I think Hansen will get a pass because of his previous record with the ABs. If it was Foster who had led them to a failed campaign without having won one, I think the criticism would have been a lot more. 2011 was my favorite World Cup. The love from New Zealand supporters was incredible. You know, man, I went to the pool game, Ireland against Australia at Eden Park with my mate who's a Wallabies fan. And I was in a scarf, an Irish rugby scarf, because my granddad, not really my real granddad, but my grandma's partner of like 20 years, who was with my grandma before I was born, so kind of like granddad, if that makes sense. He is Irish, so I was wearing his scarf. He'd already passed away, had he? I think so. Anyway, but all the New Zealand fans were back in the Irish, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Irish fans were feeling the love that day. The Aussies must have been curious because they would be thinking, where's the Anzac spirit? Like, in theory, the New Zealanders should be supporting the Aussies, given our close histories, but nah, we were all Irish that day, apparently. My Wallabies fan mate was not impressed. Oh, what's a kick? Can we just give Andre Pollard's boot a clap? It deserves it. When will you attend a South Africa, New Zealand match in South Africa? Bro, I would love to. Nobody's going to travel anywhere anytime soon, but it's definitely on my list. Favorite Super Rugby final? You know what? In a way, I kind of enjoyed the Waratahs' victory over the Crusaders because the Waratahs were my Aussie team, and the Crusaders are not my New Zealand team. So, but I don't know if that's my all-time favorite one. Again, a lot of them, it's been years since I've watched them, so I can't really remember the details. Oh, Stransky's missed touch. A rare mistake from him. Namibia's final 2023. Oh, what? Don't think Namibia USA is going to be the final somehow. Did well as a coach, but he peaked. He just probably stayed too long. Indeed. I think he did stay too long. Barrett should have moved to the Sunwolves. Nah, he's all good with the Blues, man. He hasn't played for us yet, but he'll get there. Good kick from New Zealand. You're right. Anzac spirit doesn't exist in sports. I'm not sure why that is. Why is that not a thing? The underarm incident comes to mind. True, maybe it does go both ways. That underarm incident, we're still not. I don't think Kiwis have forgiven the Aussies for the underarm. Even Richie Beno was furious about that, and he's an Aussie. Hi, Julian. It sounds like Hugh Bladden, doesn't it? A younger one, obviously. He's still going, if it's him. Jonah, go Jonah. Oh, man. The All Blacks just are lacking clinical edge. Who is the best New Zealand player in this game? or currently? Tonga, Germany. Come on, man. How much money do you get from your channel? Enough to buy a rugby jersey every now and again. Not enough to do it as a job. Way not enough to do it as a job. As an Aussie, I don't blame the Kiwis. Were these the sober Hugh Bloodden days? Oh, bro, has he been on the sauce? I didn't know that. New Zealand was the only team in the 2015 FIFA World Cup not to lose a game. Yeah, didn't we draw all our games? I don't think we won any. For us, that was a pretty good achievement, though, because we're not much of a footballing nation. Best player in New Zealand currently, Artie Savi is pretty good. Brodie Retallick when he's playing, although he's overseas at the moment, or he was. It's still 9-all. Here we go. Droppy. How did he miss that one? Why did I think he was going to get it? Jeez. He's had his chances, man. That one was... I guess Juice put him under a bit of pressure, but he hit... That was miles wide. Rumours about Hugh Bladen, fair enough. Socceroos lost every game in the last one. Fair enough too. We did draw every game, and New Zealand was flexing on everyone at the time. Yeah, we can't win, but we don't lose. Was quietly hoping the Black Caps would smash us during the Test series of the year. Yeah, the Black Caps are a bit inconsistent. How many Englishmen in the starting lineup for the Lions 2021? You think 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 15? Wouldn't be surprised. I think that's one of the videos that's been the most requested one, is to do like a Lions team. Oh, that guy on the bench was he's the Saracens director of rugby. What's his name? Our kicker sucks. Indeed, he has missed many a drop goal. Now I remember why I was so annoyed after watching this game. Yeah, I do remember as a kid watching Andrew Mertens miss a lot of drop goals. And how many has he missed? Is it 3 or 4? It's annoying. Was that a one-armed throw for the lineup? Yeah, the South African guy does it one-armed, which is a thing back in those days. And it was in 91 and 87 as well. Fitzy, I think, does it with 2. My mum was trying to video call. Doesn't she know the rugby is on? I know, priorities, eh? My daughter was crying before, and it was when Mertens missed that drop goal. So Brendan Fenter, that's right. He's got one hilarious post-match interview. It's full time, by the way. It's 9-all. One post-match interview where Saracens lost, and he just replies to every question in a mad way. Hello, Ethan. Don't worry, you mean not enough yet. He just ignored her. Help 2 cents out and click on like the stream. I do always forget to remind people to do that kind of thing. I do it occasionally in the videos. Do a Super Rugby away jersey ranking. The next one's the logo ranking. That's already recorded and ready to go. So yeah, we'll see. Who's winning at the moment? It's 9-all. I am watching the start of extra time. My YouTube's like the link in the description is up to 1 hour, 56 minutes and 35 seconds. Brendan Fenter, it is him indeed. 2 cents is secretly a South Africa fan. That's why you didn't triggered. I do like the Springboks, man. Come on, what can I say? We play them a lot. We see their players all the time. Springboks and All Blacks are still waiting to play their 100th game against each other, hoping it would be the final last year, but it wasn't to be. I know that's our fault for not beating the English. Kids are always me, me, me. I know. My daughter, who sleeps in a cot in our room, will literally wake up in the night and start telling me or my wife to go away. She's not even 2. She's not even properly awake. She'll just be like, go away, Dada. Like, bro, I'm sleeping. I wasn't coming to do anything. Tell me to go away. Rascal. Brendan Fenter is a nutter. I think so. That interview kind of proves it. Ethan's a bit late. Well, he's right on time for the extra time. Like, everything thus far has been in the build-up to this extra time. Who is next in your career video? I haven't researched anybody else yet, so I'll have to have a look. Probably won't be a Kiwi. It'll be somebody from another country. When are you going to upload the video, the logo rankings? I'm not sure. Probably tomorrow I'll review this game. Maybe Monday? I'm openly a Box fan. Never mind when they win. I think it's the only team I feel that way about. Can understand it. I think if I do, it'll be someone who's retired. It won't be a current player. Oh, someone's smoking in the crowd. Okay, so that's 87, 91, and 95. Still cool to smoke at the stadium. My daughter giggled in her sleep most nights for years. At least she was happy. Yeah, my daughter's like, it's either like saying no, like nobody's taking off you, or saying mine, or saying go away. It's never anything positive. All Blacks fan. I'm a bandwagon Crusaders fan. You must be always on the bandwagon then, because the Crusaders are always successful. In 95, South African lineout was terrible. 07, South Africa scrum was pathetic, and in 19, both lineout were very good. Their lineout has been picking a few of the All Blacks ones off, and their scrum has been phenomenal. Some people are still really salty about the Crusaders logo. Yeah. That was a bit weird because it felt like nobody really had a problem with their logo, but because of the events that happened, they decided to change it proactively rather than reactively. But I guess it's maybe better to do stuff proactively rather than waiting for some controversy. I don't know. She's a little girl. She's sticking up for herself. Yeah, man. She doesn't take any nonsense. That's for sure. She doesn't take anybody's nonsense. Today, my kids were playing in the sandpit because we've got a little seashell shaped thing that's full of sand, and then there's a lid on it. The kids are playing in it. My son, who's 4 years old, is just playing with the sand, and my daughter, who's not yet 2, she's just like, the hell with this guy. She picks up some sand, dumps it on his head. He doesn't do anything. He's just like, okay, whatever. I feel like he should stick up for himself as the big brother. Like, don't put sand on me or I will smash you. Maybe not to that degree, but at least throw his weight around a bit. Nah. Kids are usually pretty, I don't know. My family are all Blues fans and hate me for being Crusaders. I'm with your family. Be a Blues fan. It's great. Mertens is lining up a kick from halfway. Here we go. Great kick. That was about 48 meters. I'm feeling good about this. The All Blacks are in front during extra time. This is definitely going to go well for the All Blacks. I don't mind they changed the logo. He's missing the kick? No, he didn't. He got it. Your son is showing maturity. Yeah, it's probably true. My son, I think, is pretty chill. He doesn't really get upset with that kind of stuff. My brother was kind of the same. I was always treating my brother like crap when I was a child, and he never really rose to it. He was never baited by it. Top 5 smoker Rugby World Cup edition. I know, right? I'm a true bandwagon Crusaders fan because I don't even know they're starting 15. Just support the Blues, man. Just do it. Interesting that even in extra time, some of these guys have not been substituted. Oh, but here comes one. Is that Richard Lowe going to come on? What are your thoughts on the All Blacks potentially losing Ardie Savea to rugby league? I'm not sure if Ardie Savea is really going to go to rugby league or if he wants a better contract. Not sure. Obviously, I hope the best players stay in Union. Richard Lowe is coming on. He can't have had many All Blacks tests after this. Two Cents Junior, she'll be right. Yeah, he's all right. How's the quality of the game? Well, it's 1995 quality, so it's not the best. I've seen better. But it's all right. I also watched the 1987 game, and it's better than that, and it's better than 91. So we're getting progressively better as we watch these games. It's probably better than Rugby 20 because the running animations are pretty bad in that game. Oh, what happened? Forward pass. That must have been tight. Yeah, sister does. Okay, that was probably forward. Sister does dump sand on Big Brother. But to be fair, when Big Brother was 2 and he was at daycare, I picked him up once and he didn't see me. I was still getting his gear ready. And I saw him dump sand on another kid. So maybe my kids, when they're around 2, like to dump sand on other kids. And the kid he dumped sand on also was totally chill. So maybe my son internalized that the reaction to getting sand dumped on you is, it's all good. Oh, Frank Bunce with the little spin. Come on, surely the All Blacks are going to score here and put us beyond doubt. Jonah's going to rampage down the wing, score a try, and the game will be in the bag. Lowe's last few days, is that right? Artie won't get a better contract now. I'm sick of them all threatening to leave. Yeah, that's true. That's just the standard practice nowadays, it seems. Pass was flat at best, I reckon. I reckon Artie wants $1 million contract more than he wants to play league. I can't help but wonder if it's his agent's influence. Depends on the player. Some are there for money. It's hard to know nowadays. There's not that many players. Like Richie McCaw must have turned down a lot of offers to go overseas or whatever. He just stayed with the team he wanted to play for. New Zealand rugby. Yeah, they've got a fair bit of money. How many rugby jerseys do I have? Well, I put a tweet out the other day where I put them all, barring one, which I forgot about. I hung them all up on the fence. So if you want to see all my rugby jerseys at once, go to my Twitter. It's probably a couple of days old, that tweet now, but I think it was like 80, 87. It's a lot of jerseys, man. I need a lot of space to hang the damn things. Went from talking about important rugby matches to little kids dumping sand on other kids. It's all related. 1 minute you're a kid dumping sand on another kid. The next minute you're an All Black playing in a Rugby World Cup final, or a Springbok winning a Rugby World Cup final '95. I wish I could see how much time is left. I don't really judge people for moving nowadays because there's massive influences. Yeah, it definitely has changed a fair bit. The idea of a one club player these days doesn't exist as much anymore. Sandpits are where it all happens. I remember playing in the sandpit as a kid. I used to love the sandpit. I'm pretty thankful I've got a sandpit. I mean, it's not much of a sandpit. It's not like a proper sandpit. It's literally like a plastic container with another plastic container on top of it, and there's sand in it. But either way, sandpits keep kids very active. So when you're in lockdown and can't send your kids to daycare, sandpits are your friend. That's the advice from 2 Cents this day. Only been on for 5 minutes. Yeah. What are you doing to stay fit at home? Running after my kids. I'm getting a sore back doing the work at home because I don't have a proper workstation. So I've been trying to like plank because that usually helps. But yeah, trying to walk around a bit. We took a walk to the local school today, which is local. Like it's less than 10 minutes walk. And we threw the rugby ball around with the kids. And I decided to fly my drone because I figure I'm not around people. I know we're technically on lockdown, but I was like, I'll fly my drone a bit. And I kid you not, within 10 minutes, there was a police helicopter circling the school. So I put the drone away. Quick, smart. and left. I don't know if it's just about me, but the police helicopter did like 5 circles around until we left, and then it left as well. So I don't know. Sandpits for the win, indeed. Is there a Super Rugby section in Rugby 20? No, it's Pro 14, Top 14, Second Division, French, Premiership, so it's a lot of the Northern Hemisphere stuff. That's why some people don't watch. If you think players aren't playing for you, there's no slow emotional connection or attachment. I do very much have a good penalty kick from Stransky. Evened it up. 12 apiece. I do remember back when I was following rugby as a young fella, like being very connected to the idea that the guys who played for my team were like local guys. Like it really meant something to have Auckland up against Waikato or Canterbury. But nowadays, honestly, it doesn't mean as much. That rivalry is more franchisey. It's not as, I guess, in your blood kind of thing. So I do feel there's some truth in what April says there. 2 cents daily advice. Yeah, take my advice with a grain of salt, but that is what it is. Stay home. I know we're supposed to stay home, and this is the first time I have left the house other than to go to the supermarket. And I went to the school to walk around. And while I was walking around the school, flew the drone. I figure I wasn't like pushing it too much. Like it's good for the kids to have a run around with the ball as well. And I was only flying the drone like around the kids to film them playing. But anyway. That's the connection to the community that creates the fans. Yeah, I feel like that's missing these days. Players spend a long time overseas. Yeah, it's changed a lot. I mean, back when I was a kid, players used to play for their clubs first, but that doesn't happen anymore. Right. Now, for us All Blacks fans, this next bit's not going to go well. Are you guys getting people shaming others for their behavior yet? Over here, people are shaming. The police have set up a website where you can dob people in for not obeying like the rules. There seems to be still some confusion about what you're allowed to do when you go out. Like you're not supposed to drive your car for anything but essential services, which I think I'm obeying. I've only driven to the supermarket twice. That's it. Like when I went to the school today, I walked because it's local. Like you're supposed to stay local, so I did that. But I wasn't sure. Like if I walk to the school field where there's no people around, am I allowed to have a play around with the ball with the kids? Am I allowed to fly my drone? I figured I wasn't hurting anybody, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe you're supposed to just be at home. But yeah, there is a bit of that kind of dob in your neighbors thing going on. Oh, that kick's too big. Forgot. Back in those days, that meant a 22 dropout rather than back to where the kick was taken. Very fortunate. When did you start supporting the Blues? Since their inception, really. I was a Auckland fan So just naturally became a Blues fan, couldn't really avoid it. Did you play rugby as a youngster? Not much, like never for a club properly, formally. Only at school. Like you can't in New Zealand, you can't not play rugby at like lunchtime. But I was way too skinny to play it as a kid. Played soccer and I was terrible. Played cricket, I was okay. You're gonna cry. No more beers. Beers are done. I needed them because I know which way this game's gonna go. As a kid, though, I was sure New Zealand was still going to win. It was like destined to be New Zealand. We have that sort of dob in mind in New Zealand, indeed. Several different jobs. Husband changed career. How do you think the Stasi was formed? Yeah, I get the idea. My mate, again, I may have broken the rules today a little bit because my mate, who works for a supermarket, so he's an essential worker, and his mum has Alzheimer's. So he lives with his mum and his dad. He works for a supermarket as a night fill guy. I've known him since I was 6. He sent me a text and was like, I spilled coffee on my PlayStation controller. I need a controller. So I walked to his place today. Again, he lives locally. It's just like 5 minutes down the road. And I dropped a controller at his place. But I called him when I said I was outside. So he came out. So we may have been within 2 meters of each other. We had a bit of a catch up. Right. Strand says just get the drop goal. I need to see that again because I was too busy talking about my mate's PlayStation controller. From a scrum. Mertens tried to pressure him, but man, he just slotted that easy. Right. But yes, I gave my mate my spare PlayStation controller because I figured he needs that. It's his only escape from the looking after his Alzheimer's mum and having to work in a supermarket when there's a pandemic going on. This game was decidedly average. No tries. And I feel like the first half was a bit more entertaining than the second. But the fact that it went to extra time is always a bit of a cliffhanger. How many stories of ex-cricketers entering in financial and personal issues after retirement? That's one of the things about Jonah. That's one of his things as well, about all the personal issues he had, like financial issues. There were many. Have you seen Carlos Spencer's trick shots? I've seen 2 of them. Phenomenal, man. That guy is still a man of mad skills. If you haven't seen them, his son's been showing videos on TikTok like where he passes behind his back like 20 meters to a basketball hoop across a fence. His son tries it like 10 times, can't get it, and Carlos, admittedly not on his first try, but first time on camera, he gets it. It was earlier than you remembered. Yeah. I, in my mind, had South Africa scoring the drop goal towards the end, but there was more than 5 minutes to go. So, yeah, it was a beautiful kick. Carlos Spencer still ripped. Yeah, he's clearly still in pretty good shape. I feel like Mertens has at least one more drop goal shot, right? Oh, man, the hands, Mark Ellis. I cleaned his car once, in case you didn't know. Mark Ellis's car. Butterfingers, I know. It's 11 o'clock. I know. clock continued. Did it really? Come on, Glenn Osborne. You can do it. Spencer with the big floaty pass, and Jonas dropped it. No, not forward, fortunately. Kronfeld. Go check Bowden's trick shot on Insta. I feel like I saw that one as well. Is that where he kicked it? I can't remember. I feel like I saw it. Benke's drop in the 2003 final was horrendous. He wore gloves. That was on the trial line. I need to go watch the 2003 final as well. I haven't watched that one for quite a while. Come on, All Blacks. You're in the wrong half, man. Stop dropping the ball. Go, Glenn. Stay away from that touchline. Oh, Brendan Fenter did get on in a World Cup final. We are so disorganized in this game. Yeah, the All Blacks are not handling the pressure well at all. This is pretty painful at the end. There's not long to go. And they just won another penalty. Oh, Richard Lowe's almost getting into a fight. Why am I not surprised? This is a slow, kind of painful one at the moment. Did I enjoy the 2019 final? Yeah, man, that was a great game. Those South African tries at the end. Too slick. Very well deserved. Beaky to the 2015 final. This is breaking your heart. Oh, man, I'm kind of surprised how painful this is to watch, honestly. Like, it's been a long time. I thought it would kind of be water off a duck's back, but this is really, really a tough watch. He's missed that one, so the All Blacks are still alive. Brendan Fenter was wearing 17. Yeah, Mark Ellis came on wearing 16, I think. So they definitely did subs in a different order that they do nowadays. What supermarket do I go to? Recently, I've been looking for online slots. So I managed to get one at Pack and Save and one at Counter. Not for delivery, because I know delivery is for people who really need delivery. But because I'm working from home and looking after the kids, I don't really want to spend my day at the supermarket. So I managed to get an online slot where I just go and pick it up and come back. One Pack and Save, one Countdown. And the ref is gapping it. Oh, I feel happy for the South Africans, but oh my lord, that was tough viewing. Can't win everything, indeed. Yeah, the All Blacks did not deserve to win that game. Knock-ons, bad line-out, bad scrum. The South African forwards were dominant. They kept Jonah fairly quiet, admittedly. Like, he had a couple of half breaks, but he never really busted through any tackles like he did against England. Andrew Mertens missed a bucket load of kicks. Yeah, the South Africans were just too good on the day, man. For sure. For sure. Pity that the game ended with a scrum shambles. Yeah, sometimes that's just the way it goes, eh? We couldn't get online groceries while in self-relation was stink, but the vegan supermarket delivered to us. Oh, nice. And what a teeth-pulling exercise, says Elron. I know, man. I know, Mark. Well, I'm happy to see these guys in front of their home fans. Like I can feel happy for them. But the process of watching them get there for New Zealand was pretty painful. Online slots here in New Zealand for groceries are really hard to come by as well, but our local fruit and veggie shop is taking orders via text, so we've managed to get some of those as well. Morgan Freeman, yeah, he's going to be on the way. Cheslin Colby or Brian Habana. Don't make me do that, man. Colby's one of my favorites, but Habana's a legend. Chicken Wings is going to have a cry. All right, Mark, I'll see you in the next one. Indeed. Not sure what the next one will be. I know I said I was going to do the 2007 one at some point, the All Blacks World Cup. I need to take a break from the All Blacks losing. I need to watch something else first. I need to watch something, either All Blacks winning or two teams which are not the All Blacks. I'll think about it because yeah, that was pretty tough. Oh well, yeah, can't win them all. You can't win them all. 2015. No, I can't jump that far ahead. I'll try and watch something a bit random next, I guess. I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyway, 999 final. Oh, that's all good, Bruce. Appreciate it. I think I'll give the World Cup one a break for a little bit, maybe in a week, but I'll try and do a stream during the week, something a bit different. I'll have a look and see what's out there. There's lots. I'll definitely do it in sequence. So the next World Cup one I watch will be 99, but maybe not for a week. If 99's online, I'll have to have a look. But yeah, maybe something from the Six Nations. Like, I think there's a Scotland-Ireland one out there, which is a good one. Certainly not going to be that New Zealand against England one from 2012. No way. No way. But stop conforming to society's expectations. Jump to 2015 because it's the right thing to do. That is a really good game. I think I actually have that game on my computer. But anyway. All right, team. Congratulations, South Africa. That was... Oh, there's tears from Robin Brooke. That was painful. Time has dulled it, but that was still... Yeah, that was still tough. Yeah. Anyway, guys, take care. Stay safe in the lockdown. Wash your hands. Don't go to the park and fly your drone because the police will come looking for you. It's not a good idea. So, yeah. Take care. And, yeah, if you want anything for Rugby 20, it's going to be on Twitch rather than YouTube. So, anyway. Cheers, Jonathan. That was a bit of fun. I say that. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the South African guys celebrating. Yes. Good for them. Not that good for me. Anyway, guys, take care. And, yeah, I'll see you again for the next one. See you.